got Jeff Raybould here, who's offered to talk to me about some stuff which we can discuss with you. Today, we're going to talk about training styles, contest prep, PED use, and any other thing we've experienced from ourselves, which we can share along with you. So we're both going to slowly introduce ourselves. I'll start with Jeff. If you want to tell me a little bit about yourself and your competition history, and then I'll go.
Yeah, hi guys. My name is Jeff Raybould. First show was 2006 with PCA. 2016. The last show was 2018. I started training when I was about 16 years old, so 2006. Was brought into the sport quite early. My father took me to my first bodybuilding show when I was on a carry cart, as he used to coach bodybuilders. I was also in like the hardcore bodybuilding gyms, which are more prevalent many years ago. Trained when I was a kid around people like Ernie Taylor, Lynn Von Miller, and there was some awesome bodybuilders at a gym called Paragon, which is like Hal Owen, in the area that I kind of live next to. There was, so in terms of, did you say contest history as well, Ozzy?
Well, we'll do contest history, but what got you into it?
Yeah. Okay. So I was, as I said, I was around bodybuilding from a kid, really. I was at my first show before I could walk or talk, as my dad used to coach bodybuilders. So we'd be at shows quite a lot. And I didn't really take training seriously until I was about 16. So I used to be really into athletics. And I actually dislocated my hip in a 100-meter race. And I decided to get into weight training to kind of strengthen my body up. I couldn't race at that moment in time, so I thought, right, I'm going to go to the gym, do some like strength and conditioning work, develop my body a little bit more. And then, to be honest, I just fell completely in love with weight training. There was so much more to it compared to athletics, in my opinion, because there was different supplements, there was different training styles, there was different exercises for this body part, and different foods to eat to accomplish this. Yeah, it was just it just seemed like there was so much more to it than athletics.
Imagine.
So I quickly grew. Like, I was like 9 stone when I started, and that was at 16 years old. And luckily, obviously, my dad taught me a little bit, and he taught me about training, nutrition a little bit. But to be honest, I didn't want to listen at that age. You had the kind of magazines pushing the protein bars and supplements and the protein shakes and that kind of stuff, and I bought into that. Like, I was the one in Holland and Barrett on my lunch break at college, like buying protein bars and protein shakes and stuff, when in reality my dad said to me, you should be eating like chicken and eggs and beef and rice and that kind of stuff, and that's what I should have done. So my progression was quite slow, in my opinion, compared to what it could have been. It was fast because I force fed and I wanted to, and I trained so hard.
Yeah, but we could at that age.
But I wasn't eating or providing my body with the sufficient nutrients. And nowadays it's so much more like a convenience type industry, and you just can't have that. I don't believe you can be a very, very good bodybuilder with that kind of convenience mindset, in terms of you can't be fantastic just eating protein bars and protein shakes all the time. So yeah, 2006 when I first joined a gym, and then kind of trained quite consistently. Then went to college, then went to university. I backed off a little bit when I went to university. I was training sometimes when I had tons of work, just twice a week, so like an upper workout and a lower workout, something like that. And then in the summertime, I'd do a hell of a lot more. I'd go from like 2 times a week to like 4 times a week, I suppose. And when I had obviously less work to do. And then when I actually went to live, I finished my degree and went to live in Ibiza for 4 months. And I did like bodyguard. Say again, man.
Party boy.
No, do you know what? No, absolutely not. Like, I literally didn't. I probably went to like 3 clubs. Wow. Actually entered in terms of like going out. Basically, I was just doing door work in like bodyguarding and stuff like that. So I actually had a contract with Cafe Mambo. it was just an amazing experience. I didn't drink or do drugs or anything like that. It was just all about meeting new people. But I still kept the gym. I used to train like 2 days on, 1 day off back then, just to keep my head straight, because everyone else was going out partying all the time and whatnot. And I wanted to keep my head straight. So I went to the gym like 2 days on, 1 day off, and came back, graduated, and didn't really know what I wanted to do. So then started like helping people for free with their training, nutrition, and that kind of stuff. And then I started PTing professionally a couple of months later, and that was 2013. And then I actually, the reason why I did my first show is I actually had a breakup with a girl, and I thought, right, I'm gonna just get really stuck into this now, because she was kind of not really supportive of my like bodybuilding. So I thought, right, I'm gonna get really into this now, and ended up doing my first show, as I said, with the PCA, come second in that, and I, in my opinion, like I should have been way better. Do you know what my biggest issue was then? Like I was so used to being bigger, and I don't know how you got on with your first show, but I felt so skinny my first show.
I'll tell you exactly. I'll tell you in a minute. I'll let you finish, and then I'll talk about mine.
I felt so skinny. So I was used to being like 100 kilo plus, and then I felt as though I was losing size, but in reality, I was just losing like water and fat.
Yeah.
And every time I felt so skinny, I'd end up binge eating. So I could have been so much better at my first shot, but I couldn't hack it. It actually took me to my third show, which I ended up winning, to really get into that mindset of you have to feel skinny, you're gonna feel weak, just keep going. Just keep going. That worked for me. And then last show was 2018, which was a bit of a mess up because I started the prep at 16 weeks out, and then my dad got diagnosed with terminal cancer at 15 weeks out. So I was like, I called off the prep. I was like, he was like 3 hours away, so I was traveling to and from him in hospital on the weekends. So I actually restarted that prep at 10 weeks out, but I was like 250 pounds, and I had to lose 50 pounds because I was doing classic in NABA. So I trained throughout those weeks, but like my diet was not anywhere near where it should have been.
You learn as you go.
You can't, when it comes to like obviously like something as serious as that, like your father or mother dying or a loved one, it can really screw with your head. So as I said, like that prep really, I started at 16 weeks out, and obviously after 1 week my dad phoned me up and he said I've got terminal cancer and I don't know how long I've got to live. So I called the prep off at that point. 11 weeks out he died. So it took him 4 weeks to actually die, and then I took a week off the gym completely. And I thought, what do I do? Do I restart this prep? Because I just thought, if I do this prep, it's gonna help me with the grieving process. It's gonna kind of, I'm not gonna focus too much on his death. So I restarted the prep at 10 weeks out. But I like to get better every single show, but I actually got worse. So my fourth show was the one prior to my father's death. I was better then, which was the one that I was stood next to you on stage on, actually, if you remember that. So that was my fourth show. And then the one following that was supposed to be NABA Britain, because I won my class in NABA Midlands in Classic. So I got qualified for NABA Britain. The day after Body Power, I broke a rib. So I went to Emporium Gym in Birmingham the next day. I was on leg press. And I broke a rib the day after Body Power. And by the Wednesday, my mouth was full of ulcers. I just felt horrific, and I just called off. I was like, no, I can't do it. The British finals for NABA was like 3 hours from my house. I wasn't on stage till like 8 p.m. at night, which means that
I'm going to interrupt you quickly. You broke your rib on a leg press.
Yeah. And I don't know if that was because of me tensing my stomach so hard, or because my quads came into my stomach, but apparently it's quite common. I actually spoke to a few bodybuilders since, and they were like, yeah, it's actually quite common to break one of the lower ribs on the leg press. And then I carried on training, but it put me off. I was too scared to squat heavy. I was too scared to do anything that was like a lower body compound movement or deadlifts or rack pulls or anything. So I called the show off. And then, so it was quite frustrating for me because that 5th show, which was NABRA England, I wanted to be at my absolute best. But obviously, due to what happened with my dad and stuff, it just messed my head up with that prep really. So that was my last show, which was NABRA England.
Yeah, it can go both ways, isn't it? Like I was about to mention, I think James Hollingshead even did that. He just carried on. You can use it. It can be a great distraction, or it can just be an absolute. It can go into the shitter. So, it's worth a try, man. I'd probably try the same thing.
To be fair, once I got on prep, I was good. So for that 10 weeks, it was a perfect 10 weeks. But that 10 weeks was not long enough to lose 50 pounds and look good on stage. I think the day before I weighed myself and I was still 2 to 4 pounds over stage weight. And with NABRA, with Classic, you have to weigh in. So I basically ate hardly anything a couple of days lead up to the show. And I was flat on stage. And I just didn't bring my best at all. I tried to carb, so I weighed in. So you obviously weigh in on a day. And then I tried to carb her and I had literally half an hour to carb her. And as you know yourself, that's just not going to happen. You can't do a successful carb, in my opinion, 20 minutes before stage.
Made that mistake, mate. I made that mistake. I think it was just day to day. You think, if I eat this before training, it's going to fill me out. No, it doesn't fill you out. You got to slowly do it gradually before. I've learned the hard way, man. It's just you got to slowly start to build it up. I think where people go wrong is that if you're not lean enough, you don't feel comfortable to do it over that prolonged period. So that's where a lot of people go wrong, and that's me as well.
Exactly.
What the hell? But anyway,
that's why you want to be ready a week, 2 weeks out, so you can carb up and still nail it.
Chill. Yeah, mate. I'm still haven't nailed it, but at the end of the day, I just think of it if even pro bodybuilders, nailed it every time, they'd all come in perfect
sometimes.
But they don't. They all come in soft sometimes, and they got they're pros. So make the mistake. We're amateurs, whatever. But that's very interesting. So in terms of your contest preps, for example, now this is where it gets interesting. You got to remind me to timestamp this because I think everyone's going to find this topic interesting. And I'll give my input as well. In terms of your, just in general contest prep and all around bodybuilding, what's the biggest mistakes and no-nos you've made in the past with your PED use? Now, I can go first if you want, but it's up to you. What are the dumbest
mistakes with PED use lead up to a show?
Anytime. The dumbest shit you've done thinking it would benefit you,
To be honest, in the off season, I don't think you can screw up too much. I personally think testosterone and masteron should be run all year round. Well, no, I personally think that an individual should do 3 to 6 months per year of either off completely or a TRT dose. And one thing that people don't know, well, not many people know, is that long-term usage of anabolic steroids when you are in a super physiological dose can lead to liver cancer. A lot of people don't know that, and there's a tumor marker called alpha theta protein, which is just a blood test that you can get done. And even that doesn't always pick up liver cancer. So your bloods, your liver, your kidneys, your cholesterol, progesterone, everything can be sweet. You can still be getting tumor growth on your liver.
No, mate, this is what I'm saying. This is what okay, so obviously I'm not criticizing anybody, but I see all this stuff online about people getting this done, that done, this checked, and it's great, and all these markers are good. But at the end of the day, I know people, I can't obviously off the top of my head, I can't say names, but they're, completely healthy people, and unfortunately, they just end up having a health issue anyway. So regardless, I just think if unfortunately you're going to get something, it's going to happen. But it's good to keep an eye on it, which everyone should do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's one.
Bloods is the first thing. Bloods is the first thing, really, to be honest. But I think one message that I want to put out there for sure is don't stay on huge dosages all year round.
Made that mistake.
If anyone wants to DM me about this, I can send you an article that that basically supports that long-term
Side effects.
levels of supraphysiological dosages will cause tumors on the liver.
Yeah.
I've seen it with people that I know. So I mean, that's like one mistake, and that's just from a health perspective. In terms of lead up to a show, I think one mistake that people make is, I personally think, keep testosterone in, even if it's like a TRT dose, lead up to a show. A lot of people cut testosterone out to come in drier and all that kind of stuff.
Tried it.
I don't think it's the optimal method to take testosterone out completely lead up to a show.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's shit. I've done it, and I felt like shit. I just felt everything.
Yeah. Even if it's at like a normal physiological dose, like you're doing like 125 milligrams of testosterone a week, that's just like, that's fine. And then if you want to do your tren or your whatever higher than that, and that's cool. But just don't cut test out completely, lead it to a show. And you'll come in. I mean, people do it to try and look harder on stage, but like, you'll be as hard as you are in terms of how lean you come in. If you come in super shredded, if you're fat free, you'll be water free.
Yeah. So there's a number of things you could talk about, but for me, the main thing was, and again, like, I wish I never made these mistakes again, and I know I won't do it, but also not criticizing anybody I learned off of. I don't want to talk bad about anybody, but for me, it's just sort of, the more you put in, I don't care about this hardener and this, helps sustain muscle on a low calorie deficit, whatever. It's by adding more, what I'm doing is I'm just giving myself more side effects. And for me, as an example, recently realizing that I'll say about 400 milligrams of tren is too much. Now, I think you want to talk about one of my best preps, which I've probably done, is the one I did that by myself. I kept everything, doing really sensible with it. And in terms of side effects, I got like nothing. I felt good. I was, towards the end, I maximum probably went up to 200 milligrams. And that was for about a week or two, but I was good doing the whole
200 milligram of what, just tren?
I did 200 milligrams of tren, which is the max, but that was for 2 weeks. So I kept it at 150 from like 6 weeks out or 8 weeks. Otherwise, before that, it was EQ and test. So I dieted down quite well, and then added in these things when I needed to. But my point being is, obviously, don't run that for a prolonged period, which obviously I've learned I don't react well with it at a high dose. Which is my last show didn't go too great, mate. Hormonally, and I was just all over the place. It sent me like loads. So just small amounts work. Small amounts are fine.
Absolutely.
And don't keep. If you're gonna try something else in. So, for example, have you used halotestin before? Yeah, no.
Possibly, if it was like, obviously Halo, something that I put it this way, I haven't had Halo that's been like tested and been real, because me personally, unless I see a lab report for something, I don't generally believe it's real. But especially Halo, like Halo's something obviously it's quite an expensive thing. So a lot of brands will say it's real, but it's not real.
It's just this is the fuck up. So like, for me personally, I would never use it again, right? Just because I don't feel like it's going to make a difference. Like we said, it's about how lean you get. But here's an example. It will be, okay, you're going to add Anavar and Winstrol towards the end, and then it will be so them two together. I don't really think that should be a thing anyway. And then add halotestin in towards the end. Oh, let's add some letrozole to dry you out. And for me, man, I can tell my mood, it shouldn't go like that. And I did none of that in my own prep that I did. I literally, if I had a bit of gyno, I put in half a tablet of Kaba. I kept it minimal. And man, it was the best. Like, I only got third at the show, but I'm going to blame that to the show running 2 to 3 hours late, and I had nothing. I had no food.
Yeah, it is what it is in the day, man. With shit like that, you just can't control everything, can you?
What can I say, man? But yeah, so PED use less is definitely more. With the pros and stuff, whatever they do, they're doing it right, clearly.
Do you have apart from the psychological issues that you think you had? I have my own opinion. Do you have a reason, or do you have a reason of why you think that higher dosage affects the body in a negative way? I've got quite a strong opinion on this.
Well, for me, like, all I can say is just from personal experience, and I'm happy to say, like, I've just gone off listening to people, but then as I've gotten
Yeah.
through it, I you know, comparing, I always thought my pre-contest doses were way more than my off-season ones. And then I just compared how I felt. And then I was like, you know, I might be dieting down, but I shouldn't be feeling like this.
Yeah.
You know, you should just feel the tired bit, but mood-wise, I'll be honest with you,
Yeah.
I don't feel that like, like basically, depending on my mood, off season, I'm great. You know, doses are low as well.
Yeah.
I feel great.
But that's, I think that's generally because your sleep's probably better. You're eating more food.
Yeah.
So like, you know, obviously mood's going to be better in the off season, I think.
But I think, yeah, that as well. But I think if there's more, or, you know, more obviously gear use combined with that, I think it's a bad combo. So which is why I try to keep the gear use low. And if obviously the sleeping stuff is on the side, it doesn't affect me as bad. And yeah, like I said, I don't want to have to take things to counteract. I'd rather take less of it, so there's less.
Absolutely. Yeah. Drugs to cover drugs is just,
it's so silly,
idiotic.
man. It's so silly. Like, yeah.
So carry on, mate.
No, I was just gonna say, just in general, like from the next one, right now, you know, you were mentioning that skinny feeling. So I don't think that happens to everybody. I think when you put on a certain amount of mass, I just think you won't get like that. So I personally think I need to put on a lot more size before I going on stage again. So I'm just taking a year out.
Yeah. No, that's what I did 2019, and then I had a ton of shows lined up in 2020, and then what happened in 2020 happened in 2020 with COVID and whatnot. But back to what we were saying to with high dosages, the reason, in my opinion, why it can make the body not always look as good when you increase the dose is because the impact then on the liver and kidneys is obviously more negative the higher dosages you go. So then that can cause a worse look to the body. So if you mess with your liver function and your kidney function, that can then cause, in my opinion, more water retention. You can actually struggle to lose more fat if you cause the liver function to decrease.
100%.
So this is another reason why I think, like, people leave it to a show, they start banging in more drugs.
Yeah.
And quite often, all that's going to do, regardless of whether it aromatizes or not, it can create more water retention because the body is more stressed out.
Toxicity as well.
The liver and the kidney, absolutely. That's what I'm getting at. So the body is more toxic. There's a more toxic environment.
Yeah.
When the body is in a more toxic environment, I think it makes it harder to lose body fat and to shed water.
Yeah, agreed, Matt. 100%.
So
what's the lowest you take your food down to? Should we talk about this combined? My food was usually quite low.
I'll
go by carbs. So basically, I just literally, I'll just go by my own prep because I'm not going to criticize anybody else. I don't want to do that. By my own prep, I just count carbs per meal, and I think the lowest went down to was like 50 grams, 50 to 100 grams or something like that. I don't know, but
per meal or per day?
Per day. So that's the lowest I'll go, but I'll do it not for a long period. I'll do it for like a day or two.
Yeah.
And I've done that in the past where I think on my last show I did it, and I think my hormones, everything was just so effed, like it was affecting me, and I was like, how am I on this little food? And you know, I was watery. I felt like I didn't feel like my body was changing that much. I was taking progress pictures like every day. And even to make weight, mate. This is why, if anyone watched the last show, I had to step off stage because the day before, you know, 2 days before, I was doing saunas and shit like that just to get my weight down. And on the day, I didn't drink water until the evening. And this is, I don't know, just everything up to the build up was pretty crap. But it happens. So yeah, for that, I just found it really hard to make weight, and I looked okay.
What weight did you have to make?
So light heavyweight is it's 198 pounds.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right. So for me, it's not comfortable, like, which is why I like, everyone says to do classic.
What height are you again, Ozzy?
I'm 5'8".
Okay, so 5'8", 198 pounds. That's a good weight, to be fair.
It's a good weight, but I think I'd be more suited if I can put on the mass. I think a heavyweight category for me to be comfortable to drop the weight would be nice. But for classic, I'm not gonna sacrifice that.
What's your weight cap in classic at 5'8"?
So if I remember correctly, and I think I am. So if I check the two bros, I have to be around 82.
Yeah. Do you know what that is in pounds? I know it in pounds. I think like I know it's 6'1" myself. I've got to be like 220. That's my cap.
So what, 80? Let's say 82. Yeah, 180. I can't do that.
So 180 at 5'8". Yeah, that sounds about right. I think for Two Bros Pro. I've checked it myself actually. But so you're 5'8". So it's so the Two Bros Pro division rules, isn't it? Two Bros Pro.
They have it, yeah, they have it on there. They got a limit. I think I remembered it, and I just looked at it, and I was just like, because I'd love to do classic, my shape and everything. I'd love to do it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But I think if I tried to push the weight down that low, I just literally look stringy. And I'm in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding. I don't have anything against classic. I just think
You want to progress, don't you?
yeah, I would just sure my aim is to see how much muscle I can put on my body. So if I have to go up and go up against someone,
So up to 5'8", you can be 182.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then up to 5'9" is 190. Up to 5'10" is 197. So yeah, you'd have to be like 182 maximum at 5'8".
No chance. I don't know. No chance I can strip that off.
That's cool, man. And you just obviously you do light heavyweight. I think I saw a few photos. Is that the one that Danny Mahmood or something?
Yeah, Danny killed Danny looked good at that show, man.
He won it the year before, right?
The finals.
That class.
No, he just dominated that year. I think
yeah.
Maybe the year before he did it as well. Yeah, but I don't know about the finals. But yeah, he looked good that day, and I had that.
Where did he come in your class when you competed against him?
He won.
I won that. Yeah.
Him and that Michael guy. Michael looked good as well, but Danny just had that rounded shape. He's wicked. Michael was just shredded to the bone. That lineup was good, man. I knew what I was up against, but for me, like I said, all the mistakes I made. So if I look at my photos from the front, I looked okay, but from the back, I looked awful. Yeah. Where do you hold all your fat shits on the back? So
yeah, do you know what? Do you think that like Asian guys store fat different places to like white guys or black guys?
Yeah, man, this is another thing I want to talk about as well. Let's talk about the whole genetic side of thing, which is great. So we're like, I'll ask you in a minute, but for me, genetically, the only thing I have, and I can say this from how I felt myself grow up, is the structure I've got, which is small bones.
Yeah, you got promising structure, man. You got small waist, like big wide shoulders. Yeah.
Yeah, like for me, I personally think my arm's that big, but just how everything's structured, I think it fits so well. Where I pull off the illusion, which is fine by me, because at the end of the day, I'm not doing it to look big, walking around like look at me. It's literally I want to see what I build on stage, which is cool. So I can stand next to people who are 10 kg heavier than me. It's fine, but I wouldn't look so much lighter. Do you know what I mean?
I know people, mate. At the end of the day, people like 2070 Olympia, like Phil beats Ramy, and Ramy's what, like at least 30 pounds heavier.
Yeah, so that's it.
It is illusion.
Yeah. Oh, but my missus is hungry. Oh god. Yeah. So I'll be done in a minute. Sorry. Yeah. So with the whole genetic side of thing, okay, where do you hold your fat?
Do you know what? It's definitely changed over the last couple of years. It's tending to be now more, and I think probably my arse though. Like, for the body power that we were on stage next to each other at, I was pretty much peeled everywhere apart from my arse. And I mean, it's generally the same with most people. I think it's like glutes and
everyone's. Let's scratch that. Okay, take glutes out of the equation. What's the next one? Because glutes is hard for a majority of people. There's a rare people who have glutes very easily.
Yeah, I think like lower back's got to be the place for me.
Yeah, it's lower. Same with me, man. Like for me, like this is why it's a bit annoying, because I'll be in the gym and I'll have lines, veins everywhere, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll confidently say it. Like in the areas I want to see the most, see my body the hardest, it's not. So the lower abdomen.
You just got to keep pushing till you get to that point. I think you're only as lean as your leanest area, in my opinion. Yeah, I've still not nailed my condition as much as I'd like to.
Yeah, we're learning. We're learning.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like that's like. Do you know what? 2019 is the first year that I did an off season that I ate like clean, pretty much 90% every single day. Yeah, so the transition into the prep of 2020, the shows got called out at 7 weeks out for me in 2020. And I was my best I've ever been at 7 weeks out. My biggest and my leanest I've ever been at 7 weeks out. And I was like, I'm looking forward to this. Like, but obviously what happened. So, you know,
do you feel like you kept more routines? Because all I'm doing differently, and I think it's progressed loads, is when I keep that routine, even when I come off, like at the moment, I'm off cycle. But just obviously I have those days mentally where I'm like, oh shit, you know, I don't feel as pumped anymore, which is cool, but I've done it for years. I keep that routine. I'm on a diet pretty much, which is, I'd say, starving me, but I'm with Sass, you know, Sassan.
Yeah.
He's really really chilled and laid back with his food plan, especially when I'm also like growing. He feeds you big, so it's just kept me in that routine. And I've never had an off-season coach. Usually I just try to eat every 3 hours, but it's made a big difference as I've gone on. Talking back to when you said your first show, I think I had hardly any muscle anyway, so I couldn't really feel if I'd gone skinny or not, but my face I looked anorexic.
The face was
I don't even know.
That should be.
Hey?
That should be. The face should be skinny.
I had no muscle, man. But look, I got into it in a stupid way. Just my mate said, "Look, do you want to compete?" We ended up just doing it. Like you, I was in a bodybuilding gym, but obviously I had no family. I was opposite. I had no family to like back me up there. But now I sort of understand that I'm into the whole thing. But with the whole dieting side of thing, man, just I think it's more routine. I'm treating it sort of like contest prep, like, you know, the days I come home from work at midnight and I don't want to do cardio. I'll get in my boxes and just jump on the bike.
So you say your diet at the moment is not a lot of food, or it's a lot of food?
No, at the moment, mate, it's not. But it's on purpose, because put it this way. So coming out of lockdown, I just literally went into start training again, start eating every 2-3 hours. I didn't track anything. I was just like, chicken, rice in there. Then with that, obviously, I'm not the leanest, so body fat was still there. But I thought, there's no point me going into an extreme diet right now, because I'll just look stick thin. So I kept eating. Ended up with Sass when I was like 11 weeks into a cycle anyway. He pretty much things the same, just added shitloads of more food, which is cool, but it taught me a lesson. I was like, damn, I'm not eating. I haven't been eating enough this whole time.
Mate, most people don't. Most people could move up quite a few places with just one really good off season, to be honest.
Bro, yeah, honestly, and this is why I'm gonna say it confidently, because I do believe if hopefully things, you know, I can still train and things are going there well. I want to jump up a weight category. Like I said, I think I'd suit it better. So if I do this whole year, I'll come off, do a heavy off season, and then probably come off again and then push. I'll do a show early next year, no problem. But that's not the only thing about how I look. It's just, you know, with work and finances as well, which, when you contest prep, it's not a matter of like, oh, I haven't got money for that, I'll leave it. It's, oh shit, I need this, I need that, I need this. So I've done it, and I'm, you know, I'm 27 now. I'm not gonna make that same mistake. So if I'm not comfortable, then I'm not gonna do it.
You definitely need to go. I'm quite lucky. Like business has always been quite good for me, so I've never had to worry about money on a contest prep. But that said, I've never really used like heavy doses of GH or anything like that, and that's where the real money comes in.
Yes, that as well. But I'll tell you another thing. With supplementation, we're going to go into that. Do you want to go into that quickly? Just
absolutely, man. Supplementation, I think,
supplements
better subject than gear.
All right. So in the past, and this is for everyone that's watching as well. So I don't think you need every single supplement under the sun to be in shape and healthy. Like I said, if you're off season, I think if you're eating enough, you're getting enough minerals and vitamins anyway. I just take some certain things that I feel like I need, and I'll go with that. That's where I made the mistake, where I thought, I need this, I need that, I need this. I would have, I don't know, you probably do it, where you swallow like a parade of tablets in the morning.
I can do, yeah.
And it's just, I think your liver's doing too much. I know, I'm not going to say it's toxic stuff you're taking, but it's just too much to process. So anyway, the point I want to make with this is right now, I've got protein shakes, pre-workout, and then the rest is just like health support. So be liver, blah, 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 and that's it. That's pretty much. And then I focus on sleeping supplements. And I'll probably keep it that way. If anything, for contest prep, I'd probably add in some joint support. But for me, what do you take off season? What do you take in off season? What's your main supplementation?
The three supplements that I believe, actually, probably there's more than 3, but okay. So like just a normal, my meat all year round at the absolute base level. And in terms of anyone I coach, these are the absolute basics. So an omega-3, as I personally believe that you will not get enough omega-3 regardless of the amount of like oily fish and that kind of stuff you can eat. And to be honest with you, what you've got to remember is omega-3 is in the fattier foods, right?
Yeah.
So let's say you're on a contest prep and your dietary fat's coming down, you still need to get your omega-3s in because they are essential, right? They're essential fatty acids. The body needs them. So omega-3s all year round, vitamin D all year round, and then zinc and magnesium. But I buy ZMA, which is like an all-in-one. So I do about 5 to 10,000 of vitamin D per day, about 1,000 EPA, and about 500 DHA with the omega-3. And then the magnesium is about 400 milligram. The zinc's about 30 to 40 milligram.
So do you take just the recommended dose, pretty much?
Do you know what? In terms of recommended dosages, you're going to hear a ton of different stuff from different people.
I mean, on the bottle.
The bottle's usually not correct. Particularly with my protein, for example. They're usually incorrect with their dosaging. I don't. So you generally have to take a little bit more.
No offense to my protein, but I don't. I bought their vitamins ones as bullshit. I actually spend on the vitamins, but in terms of supplementation, like, so I'm talking about creatine, all this pump stuff, and all this fancy stuff. I don't.
Oh, precisely. Yeah. So like, I mean, when I've probably wasted thousands of pounds on supplements for the first 10 years of training, particularly really poorly created pre-workouts, poor protein powders, formulas that I would probably prefer to put together myself. You know, you've got like intra-workout formulas, post-workout formulas, and don't get me wrong, there's some really good supplement companies on the market that develop some really good products. One product that honestly changed my training is a joint product which I use, Support Max by Strom, the joint product, which I think is awesome.
I'm going to go about what you said there. I've literally been thinking about this whole time. So their Support Max joint support, and they've got the Support Max Neuro as well, which is sort of for like You use that as well, or just
so the Support Max Neuro, Rick actually sent me some of that, and it don't get me wrong, the ingredients that are in it do the job, but I just don't think I have issues with what that needs, that kind of aims at rectifying. And they've also got the Neuro PM now, which is kind of all the normal ingredients of Neuro, but then it's got like zinc, magnesium, and some like relaxation ingredients in there as well. But so baseline for me, so you've got zinc. So every single client that comes to me, the first 3 things: ZMA, so zinc, magnesium, omega-3, vitamin D, right?
I'm good then.
Then protein powder is something that is put in if obviously they can't get solid food, and I don't eat 5 solid meals every day. I generally do 2 shakes, 3 solid meals. So a protein powder is kind of like, in my opinion, that's not even really a supplement. That's kind of like a meal, to be honest with you. Creatine, if your primary goal is putting on muscle mass and gaining strength, creatine should be in there, in my opinion. Creatine, I've trialed it. I mean, there's a ton of studies on creatine, and creatine is 100% something you should be using if you want to optimally gain muscle mass and gain strength. I've noticed with clients and myself, if I drop creatine out, your strength drops, and then your performance capabilities drop in the gym. Exactly. So you can't lift as much weight, so you can't stimulate muscle growth to the full extent.
But I know body weight drops as well, right? For me,
body weight drops because obviously it helps draw water in to the actual cell. People are like, oh no, creatine makes you watery. No, it generally just pours water into the actual cell itself, which enables the muscles to work more efficiently anyway. Other than that, pre-workout it's not bottom of the list, but it's you know, before that you've got the things that I've already mentioned. I'm just trying to think. Essential amino acids intra-workout, I think, is definitely. Saying that, the best essential amino acid formula I've used, and I'm going to bring Strom up here again, and I think to be honest, it's because they have an electrolyte formula in there as well. Right. I think that although I drink a ton of water, I think when you add in those electrolytes into workout, your muscles can contract a lot more efficiently. If you are lacking electrolytes, your muscles will not be able to work as efficiently. That's a fact. All right. So yeah, essential amino acids into workout, strong ones particularly, unless there's another one on the market with an electrolyte formula. Support Max Joint changed my training completely. Reason being, my joints used to hurt a lot, and I had tendonitis in my left bicep and in my right forearm. Right. So any pulling movements, any bicep movements, the left bicep, it hurts so much. And the right forearm, any rowing movements, upward row, bent over row, that also hurt my forearm.
Yeah, I've had that.
So the Support Max Joint actually helped get rid of my tendonitis and my joint pain. And I actually found I could press heavier, squat more, because subconsciously I've been dealing with the pains in my joints, particularly my knee joints and my elbows, for such a long time that all of a sudden this pain went away and I could lift more. So that obviously again enabled me to train harder and progress more in the gym. Yeah. But I think those, so just to run through it again, so omega-3, Vit D, ZMA, and creatine, Support Max Joint by Strom, and I love the Essential Max they do as well. There's a lot of, as we know, there's a lot of supplement brands on the market, and some are very, very poor with their formulas. Yeah,
there's a lot out there, man.
Strom's a brand that's pretty good.
For me, look, at the end of the day, I just think if you look after, for me, if I could, I could afford it, I would get physiotherapy every week. I would get, go see somebody get a full body done, you know, like they're doing or whatever. I'll do that, rehab, and then just take what I'm taking. I think I'll be all right, I'll be honest with you, because I do all my stretching and stuff anyway. I don't want to have to rely on all these injections and tablets and all this new stuff. I'd like to try it, but man, it costs a bomb. So for me,
it does. That's the thing. Like, I think you can bodybuild to like very well. Yeah. But I think the more progressive you get, you start to cover more areas of where you can put more supplements in. But I would prefer a client before they start to add in stuff like gear, to be honest with you.
Yeah, just be basic. That's why I'm happy with SAS for now, because I'll be honest, he didn't really shove supplements on me. He didn't shove a lot of food on me. I just looked at the plan and I saw so much food and I was like, wow. So I'm good with that, man. I'm really happy. And, you know, manipulating the training and stuff, he's only just giving me cardio to do now, which I'm happy to do.
Yeah. How much cardio are you doing?
It was 20 minutes before. I think it's every day except leg day, so 6 days a week.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I'll do it any time of day. So on my rest days, it'll be in the morning. On my training days, I'm training at 7 in the morning, and I get home, work at like midnight. I'll do the cardio at midnight or something late, and then go to bed. Wake up and then do cardio in the morning.
When you work until 12, when do you train? If gyms are open?
Oh, nah. So otherwise, the opposite is, so for gyms are open, then I train a bit later. So I get to the gym around 8, quickly bang out a session. I'm done by like 11ish, 12. I'll go home, I'll eat and cook my meals at the same time. Literally, I get no time to chill, and I'll just eat my meal, pack my food, go in the shower, go to work, and then come back.
It can be tough juggling bodybuilding, even just trying to be in shape and having like a full-time job and kids and stuff. But the fact is, so many people do it. It is possible.
Everyone. You know who I like the most? Labor workers. Do you know any labor workers who compete? Like the guys doing the physical, like Danny. I think Danny does it. The guy competing.
There's a few of them. There's a guy called Patty Ryan, I think, as well. think he's a bricklayer, always in the construction
Hey,
trade. There's tons.
yeah, like obviously they've probably been doing it for years, so you get used to it, I guess. But still, it must be tiring, man. Like just walking is hard.
Yeah, absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
but for me,
Yeah,
it's
it's tough.
sleep. My job, I'm not gonna lie, is boring sitting down. I'm on the phone,
Yeah,
but it's tiring for me because I don't get a lot of sleep at all.
yeah. How much sleep do you get?
So on a training day, I'm not
Yeah.
joking. I will get 3 or 4 hours and I'll stay up.
Wow.
On
Wow.
a rest day, I'll get home. So I'll get my 8 hours, which is okay.
Mm,
Um, if I'm lucky, I'll get a nap in. But yeah, so I'm getting 8 hours on a rest day and then 3 to 4 on a
yeah,
training day. But I'm fine to be
yeah.
honest. I wake up, I eat, I knock back a pre-workout, and I'm awake really.
And
But
what sleeps? You mentioned you use sleep supplements. What are you using?
yeah, I forgot to mention there's one. So I do. I'm not okay. I'm not science based at all. I just go by feel. Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah,
recently, I am looking forward to trying this on my prep as well. But
yeah.
so ZMB is a supplement by Trek Nutrition that I've been getting from the shop.
Mm,
The guy's got GABA in it, which is helps
yeah,
sleep. GABA,
yeah.
and
I
then
know,
I
Gabby. Yeah,
think I did some research with that. That GABA and ashwagandha work well together, and then some taurine before bed.
sure.
That's just
Yeah,
something
yeah.
I read. I went off it. I thought, let me try
No,
it.
absolutely. Yeah, ashwagandha can help for
Yeah,
sure. Reduces ashwagandha is quite good post workout as well. It kind of it reduces cortisol.
what was that?
So when you take ashwagandha post workout, obviously cortisol can be high, and you can push
Yeah,
cortisol up in a workout.
yeah,
So I've read the studies actually on that. So yeah, if you bang in 500 to 1,000 milligram of ashwagandha post
yeah.
workout, that's really beneficial.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Again, so that's too costly for me. So I've kept it to bedtime. Bed post workout.
Yeah,
I just focus on getting my nutrition in straight with my food. So I try not to hesitate, even from like not hungry. I just make sure I eat. In the
yeah,
past,
yeah,
I've done it where I've missed meals, I've delayed it, and I've noticed a difference. Just how I am throughout the day. So
yeah,
for me, it's just food, man. Like food wise, I'm pretty chilling. Like the food he's giving me for breakfast. Um, we actually changed it over. So when I wish I did this before, but again, you live and you learn. But I tried to tell him that I was having trouble digesting 2 bagels with peanut butter and jam. Now, being up that early, you imagine I'm dehydrated. I'm very dehydrated. It's
mm,
hard for me to neck back, as much water as I need, which is about 500 mil, 750, which I need. It's hard to neck that
yeah,
back and then eat a dry ass bagel in the morning with a protein shake, very
yeah,
dry.
yeah, yeah,
Without being too detailed about it, I would eat that, and that shouldn't take me 40 minutes to eat. I'd take about 40 minutes to eat this damn meal, and I'd be on the
yeah, yeah,
toilet twice. I'm not going to lie to you. So I said to him, I go, look, can I change this meal?
yeah,
And all we did was change it to eggs. I said, let me have a savory meal, and now I can't get enough of it. I eat it, no
yeah,
problem. I'll have it with eggs and a bagel, put some salt on it,
yeah.
and it's fine. So this is another thing as well with food. Is if you have a
What
Coke,
do you think was causing the issue making you go to the toilet?
that's the thing. Is I was thinking, is it all that sugar?
Have you took the peanut butter out?
Peanut butter's gone, so that's gone
That
completely.
that could have been an issue.
Yeah, but I don't think it was a jam. I don't know, but probably the peanut butter. But again,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just think it was just how heavy it was for my stomach.
Are you doing eggs and egg whites or just whole eggs?
Yeah, whole eggs all the way, man. So it's just a simple 4 eggs with 1 bagel at the moment, which is a nice light. It's nice and light for me.
Yeah,
Don't get me wrong, I'm hungry, but their
yeah,
goal is to cut down. I've lost since we started it, so he pushed me back. He pushed me up to 100 for a bit, then I pushed
yeah,
down, and now it's just coming back down. So I'm lighter than when I started with
yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah. So what the are you protein wise in that meal? Are you only doing 4 eggs?
Yeah, it's just 4 eggs, man. He has,
In my opinion, that's quite low because obviously that's like 24 grams of protein in that
yeah,
meal.
yeah.
That's my opinion anyway. I just think 4 eggs
No, he's doing it.
solely in one meal is just not high enough in terms of protein, like 24 Gs.
No. It's on purpose. I know why he's doing it, and this is why I'm saying he's so good because he'll push it when he needs to, and then he'll relax when you need to as well. So it's literally just to give my gut a break because I'd love to go through the diet now. It's just so many
Yeah,
bagels, so much rice.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm happy he's doing it because now I can't wait until I get to push it and I'm back on cycle
yeah,
again. So
yeah.
yeah, so I look forward to that. But it is really low, but it shouldn't make a difference because the rest of the food's not too bad. But it's just 5 meals, man.
Yeah, I think like with protein and myself, when I write a plan for someone, I do try and do it like an equal amount of protein over all of the meals.
Yeah.
And
I've lost
obviously
your video,
varying
by the way.
sources. Say again.
I've lost your
Yeah,
video.
sorry. Yeah, someone was calling me actually. I
Oh,
thought I made it so people can't, but someone's managed to get through.
that's all right. Carry on what you're saying.
So yeah, I try and even protein out across all meals.
Yeah, that's cool. I know what you mean. Yeah. What's your
But
digestion
like
like?
everyone, so
Okay.
one thing I do, again, I do that with myself and all clients. I keep gluten and lactose out of the diet. So like one thing I was going to mention about your bagel, but if it's not causing a problem anymore, then that's fine. Is it could have been gluten in the bagel that was causing this. So when I put so when I put bagels in people's diets, I'll use a gluten-free bagel. And I even in people that aren't celiac, actually my mom's celiac, so I know about this subject quite well. But even in people that aren't celiac, gluten still seems to give them a certain level of bloat, just like lactose will. So this is why, like in terms of protein shakes and protein powders, also I will opt for a 0 lactose protein powder, and generally there will be the highest quality. There'll be the highest amount of grams of protein per 100 gram. There will be the lowest in carb, lowest in fat. And I just find that those are a better digestion for people. But my digestion, I've really struggled to digest fat. So my first meal, for example, I'll do 2 whole eggs, and the rest will be egg whites and chicken. So I'll do about 65 grams of protein in that meal, and it will be 2 whole eggs. I think it's about 200 grams of egg whites, and then I'll make that like scrambled egg in a pan.
Breakfast.
Yeah.
Chicken.
Yeah. Breakfast.
People who eat chicken for breakfast.
You got to do what you got to do, man. So do you know what I mean? Like I'll eat foods where they need to be eaten, but then like pre-workout and post-workout, I will do whey isolate. Partly pre-workout meal, I will do that because I'm generally with clients then, so I can't really eat like sit down and eat a solid meal. So I'll generally do like rice cakes or banana or bagels with a shake pre-workout, and then post-workout I'm still doing all right. I've got awesome results not doing it, but I'm still a fan of a post-workout shake. So a high quality whey isolate and some easy digestible carbohydrates, whether that be dextrose or cyclic dextrin or something along those lines.
I'm good with taking. I'm not even joking. If Sass messaged me and he said like no more whey shakes, I'd be absolutely fine to be honest because I eat so much.
It's just time with me. Like it literally is. If I had all the time in the world and I didn't have to be with clients and stuff, then that'd be fine. But so if I worked from home all day long, I'd happily do 5 solid meals. Saying that though, I do think that it's good. I feel as though it gives your digestion a little bit of a break if you are doing like a whey isolate for protein in at least 1 meal.
Do you know?
But I mean, carry on.
What's the highest meal? You said so 5 meals you don't really like to do. What's the most amount of meals you've done in a day?
What's the most amount of meals I've done?
How many meals can you fit
6.
in a day?
That's my limit. Like, I do 5. I do 5.
It's hard, isn't it?
And
he had me on 7, and I was literally.
I had a client that came to me to prep him for a show before, and he was on 8 meals a day.
Yeah.
When he came to me, and I was like, "Are you like why you don't need you do?" I was like, "You do realize you don't need to be doing 8 meals a day, right?" Yeah. I was like, can we I was like, before prep started, it actually came to me we had about 30 weeks before the show, so we had enough time to kind of, and I said, look, do you want to do 6? No, 8's fine. And I'm like, yeah, but 6 in my opinion would be better, because the problem is he was struggling with sleep, so he was having to stay awake longer to get all the meals in. So I was like, I really tried to get him to do 6 meals a day, and he wasn't having it. So we did 8 meals a day to the show. And do you know what? The worst thing that affected him on that prep was his sleep. And I said, Alex, I said to you, like, at the beginning, like, let's do 6 meals.
8 meals on prep. Prep. Oh my God.
He would say again, mate.
8 meals on prep. I just can't believe it.
He's doing 8 meals on prep, and I was like, and like, he's a good friend of mine as well. And I was like, but so the thing that I feel really affected that prep in a negative way was, as I said, his sleep.
Yeah.
So I feel as though if he had done 6 meals, that would have been better for him. but you know, he did what he did. He still looks very good for the show. But since then, actually, I'm coaching him again now. And he's doing 6 meals now, and he's liking it so much better. Do you know why I think he got eight meals from? It was like a Rich Brianna video or something.
Yeah. Okay.
And don't, I mean, anyone listen to this, like, honestly, like, just remember that Luke Sando was doing 5 meals a day.
Yeah, and he was a big boy. He was a big boy.
And I personally think that probably his coach wanted him on like 6 meals, but Luke was like, no, like 5 meals is what I can do. It suits my lifestyle and whatnot. Don't get me wrong. If you want to be a top level competitive bodybuilder, I do think it would be a struggle to do less than 5 per day. I think the amount of food that you need, you would really struggle to put that into 4 meals, to be honest with you.
No, I agree with you. Like, even when I do my next off season, I had 7 meals before. I'm going to ask him if you can squeeze 6. I can do, because at work, you know, I'm sitting there, I get starving, but and my hours are long. But 6 to do, so if you can squeeze it into another meal, I'll be happy to. So at the end of the day, as a coach, I think it's good if, you know, the client can have a say. But I've had situations.
The client needs to have a say, in my opinion. The client there's a certain point where, don't get me wrong, there can't be any leeway on certain things. But in my opinion, like, when I start with a client, I want their opinion as much as possible. But I will say, look, that we can't compromise on. Most things it's possible to compromise on, but there's certain things that you can't. Well, or I'll say, look, we can compromise on that, but the results won't be as good.
Basically, so you can, at the moment, I'm just helping out a few people. Just take a different approach. I'm not a coach. I decide I don't do that, but I'm happy to help people right now. So there's a couple of guys, I said to them, explain your lifestyle to me. And there's a couple of guys who, you know, aren't going to follow the hardcore life where they're going to have 2 meals of chicken. So I'll just make it easy for them. I thought, okay, let's just start on that first, and then when you want to take it up a level, then okay, eat like a bodybuilder. But then there's people who chuck it on to people, you know, a bodybuilder's diet, and it does okay. We'll teach discipline, but they're not going to follow it at the end of the day.
I've got quite a few like overweight guys and overweight females. And
it'd be easy for them.
I kind of say to them, like, right, this is how many meals I want you to eat per day. These are the foods that I want you to eat. You tell me what you want where. So then, like, they've put their input in. Don't get me wrong. If they're putting, like, I'll pretty much put, right, choose a protein source and a carb source for each meal. And then generally it works quite well. They'll go, I want this here and that. Then the biggest issue is people, as I picked up earlier with you, like, people don't realize in terms of eggs, per egg, you've got like 6 grams of fat, but you've got 6 grams of protein as well. So if you're having tons of eggs, you're pushing that fat content up. So you're pushing that calorie content up really high. So you can't push eggs. And people, and do you know what? People get bored of eggs. People begin to hate eggs.
Love eggs.
Me personally, that's good for you, man. For me personally, like, I'll do eggs every single morning, and I could do this quite happily for the rest of my life, doing the two whole eggs and the 200 milliliters of the egg white, 200 grams, sorry, of the egg whites, and the chicken. That works quite well for me. And a meal that I was doing for quite a while was a can of tuna, which is like 25 grams of protein, mixed in with like scrambled egg. And that actually tasted quite good, to be fair. But I found it was giving me a bit of stomach problems.
Same.
So I took the tuna out.
I've done that. Brought
the chicken in. Canned tuna can definitely cause issues with people's guts, you know.
Yeah.
If you've noticed that.
Yeah, I have. But I only ever use it now if I haven't got enough chicken. I just shove in 2 cans of tuna. I'm not a fan of tuna. I hate tuna. I only like
I don't mind it.
Shitloads of mayo, sweet corn is the only way I'm going to enjoy it. For me, so my food sources now. So if you've got protein, we've got eggs. I've got eggs. I eat lean beef, chicken, and then protein shake in the middle. So those, that's cool. But
it's hitting it's hitting that quality, isn't it? But I think one thing people have got to realize is, as I said earlier, you can't look phenomenal on poor quality protein sources. You
That's the
need
thing,
those quality protein sources
Yeah.
and enough of it as well. I mean, the guys that say, oh, I eat loads, but I can't grow muscle. When every single one of them, when I've picked their diet apart, one, they're generally not eating enough, and two, it's not quality.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's exactly it. So this is why I just struggled to, obviously people, they want the easy way, which is why I don't coach for that reason at the moment. Just
Oh yeah.
yeah, I know you
Yeah, you
do,
have to
but
patience.
for me, I just decided now, I'll happily give you the advice, and what you want to do with it is up to you.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it just depends on the situation. For me, I'm happy to. It's taken me years, to be honest. I wasn't like this before.
Yeah.
It took me like 2-3 years into actually bodybuilding. Like, okay, I have to do this if I want to do this.
Yeah.
Take bodybuilding out of the equation. I think I could still follow this and be quite happy with it. What I would probably do is
Yeah.
eat 3 meals. I've
Yeah,
tried
I'd
it
do the same.
already. I'd eat 3 meals
Yeah.
and have a cheat meal
Yeah.
every day. I would do that if I stopped.
Yeah, I do. When I go abroad for a vacation, I'll generally do like, I'll hardly eat. Honestly, I hardly eat when I go away.
Shit,
Like,
but you eat less, right?
I don't eat that much shit. So like the last 6 vacations to me have been Dubai. And I will go to the store like when I get up, and I'll buy like, luckily in Dubai you can buy like cooked chicken breasts out the store.
That's wicked.
So I'll buy like a couple of chicken breasts, and then like I might be on the beach in the daytime, and I'll pick up like there's like Shake Shack, Five Guys right by the beach at Jumeirah Beach. And there's like the Starbucks, so you can get like, I'll get like a muffin or a burger or something like that, and then every evening I'll go out for like a meal at a new restaurant or something, because there's so many restaurants in Dubai. Like I know there's a ton of guys there at the moment, and Dubai is awesome.
It's hot spot right now. Hate it.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it is fantastic.
what we're gonna do? Let's talk about one last thing. I need to get this across as well, as it's the intro. We'll catch up on it later, but let's do training styles, and then we'll call it because cheat meal was calling me. So what's your go-to? I'm not gonna say you have one style, because I'm sure we all mix it together, but what's your favorite way of training? So training intensity and splits.
Yeah. Okay. So like so like I've got a video, as I said earlier, that I put on YouTube, and it's got like over 2,000 views now, and that was just on my own personal opinions on what is the best training split. So I, as most people probably did, started off with bro split. So arms one day, legs one day, back one day, chest one day, shoulders one day.
Yeah.
I did that from 16 till I was like 23 years old, apart from, as I said earlier, when I was and I did like an upper lower split, because I only trained 2 days a week.
Yeah.
And then 2013, I started push pull legs. And I would generally do like legs on a Monday, push on a Wednesday, pull on a Friday, and then I'd sometimes add in an arm workout on a Saturday.
Mate, I did the exact same thing. That's why I'm laughing.
Yeah, that I think. Yeah, I mean, and then start of 2020, and funny enough, we were just talking about Dubai. I was on a plane actually on the way back from Dubai, and I was like, right, my legs still aren't where I want them to be. What can I do? Training them once isn't enough, but training them twice is almost
too much.
I don't want to do that right now. So I thought, right, what can I do? So I don't think it's too much for everyone, but for my lifestyle and how I wanted to arrange everything, for me, I didn't want to do that. So what I did is I developed an upper lower body strategy. So week one, you'll do like lower on a Monday, you'll do upper on a Wednesday. So you'll do like 4 push movements and 4 pull movements, but you'll do like a push movement, do however many sets you need to do, then move on to your pull, do however many sets you need to do, then move. So you're going from one to another, right? And I personally believe that's optimal, because you're giving those muscles a rest, right? So let's say you start with a push movement, you're doing that fresh, you do 3-4 exercises, 3-4 sets on that, and then you go to a pull movement, those muscles are fresh.
Yeah.
Do like 2 to 4 sets on that, and then you'll go back to a push movement. So the strength capabilities stay higher.
Yeah.
And that 100% played out with all the clients that were doing it, with myself that was doing it. And then on a Friday, it would be lower again. And then week 2, it would go upper, lower, upper. And then week 3, lower, upper, lower. Then week 4 would be upper, lower, upper again.
Prioritizing.
And one thing that I do with the lower body training, I'll tend to do like more of a quad dominant movement than a hamstring movement. So similarly to the upper workouts, where you'll go a push movement, few sets, then pull movement. With legs, you'll probably go like I recommend you go like a squat, then like a seated hamstring curl.
Okay,
and then
so
you'll go like a
compound
hack squat.
isolation, compound isolation.
Yes, but it's more so, the reason why you're doing that is more so going from a quad dominant movement more so than to a hamstring movement. So quad, then hamstring, quad, then hamstring. So again, you're giving the muscles a bit of a break, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
to recover.
Yeah.
And honestly, that has given me the best results that I've ever had doing the upper lower training. With the problem with push pull legs is, in my opinion, right? So let's say you do 3 days a week over 4 weeks. Over that 4-week period, you're getting 4 lower body workouts, but you're getting 8 upper body workouts, right? Yeah. So
you'd switch it.
I believe that will usually result in your upper body being better than your lower body. So with the upper lower training, and let's say you do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, over the course of 4 weeks, you'll do 6 lower and 6 upper. I mean, that said, I probably will sometimes add in arm training on a Saturday, but that will be purely isolations, and calves will be also added in on a Saturday as well.
Right. And what are you doing at the moment?
That's my opinion on that, pretty much, apart from I'm not doing arm training. So I'm lucky because a friend of mine owns a gym. So I've got access to that at the moment. So I'm pretty much doing exactly that. So upper lower training, doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And it's not the most fully equipped gym, but I'm getting by.
All right. And I was actually going to ask you what kind of training, method you use, but I've actually figured out there's literally no point asking that question. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because obviously being into bodybuilding, we all go onto the internet to look for answers. Yeah, we're trying to look for, and there's so many good bodybuilders out there who follow different types of things. So like, the whole craze of JP style came in, and I followed it, and I know he doesn't tell everyone to copy him, but you see the guy, you're like, I need to train like that, So I tried that method and it doesn't work for me. And I've tried everything. Like I've tried doing just a stupidly high rep, but doing that also doesn't work for me. I just figured, so as long as you know how to work the muscle you're going to do, I think a mixture of both is good. I have to judge it solely on the day. My split I'll tell you in a second, but the actual way I train is how I feel on the day. I can go I can tell from the warm-up, I was like, this is gonna be a shit workout. Like it's mentally I'm not getting that in my head, but it's just like always gonna be difficult, I'm not gonna be strong. You'll know from the first, so from there I just sort of judge it, and it can go from 6 to 8 session to 12 and above if I need to. At the end of the day, it's just about, and I just go by, let's say Rob Taylor, for example. He just trains hard, man, and he kills it, and he knows how to train as well. My split, I'm only training 4 times a week, and I've added that 4th session in just out of pure boredom because it's arms. So it's Monday rest, Tuesday chest and shoulders, Wednesday rest, Thursday is back, Friday rest, Saturday is arms, Sunday is legs. And I'm only doing that purely because I have to listen to my body.
So that's quite kind of push-pull legs, pretty much.
Kind of, yeah, but it's in a smarter way, where me being an idiot back in the day when I first heard of it, obviously I was fresh, so I was doing push-pull legs, rest. And me being an idiot, I was literally going in so as hard as I could without being fully recovered. So I was on push-pull legs and back to push again, and I'm not fully recovered, and still try to go for a heavy 6 to 8 like an idiot. Whereas
Yeah, yeah,
what I wish I did was, you know, kill it 3 days hard, then go 3 days higher volume, but just take it easy. I was doing no mobility, no stretching at that time as well. And that's
yeah,
just
yeah,
resulted in all these issues that I have now, which I'm obviously aware of. But I'm happy training less, to be honest. I'm growing from it. I'm
yeah,
training well. When I prep,
yeah,
to be honest with you, when I prep, I will be doing more rest as well. I'll probably be doing the same thing. I'm happy. I'm getting used to it. Like, you know, I'm on a diet right now. I'm starving, but I'm getting used to that feeling of being hungry.
yeah, yeah.
I'm just training. I'm training myself up. So I think I'm just sort of preparing myself for the future in terms of what I'm going to do and how I'm going to approach it. So
I think optimizing the amount of sets per workout is important, and
yeah,
there are people probably doing too few sets, and there are people doing too many sets.
yeah,
And I think I like, and obviously you've got that whole argument of whether they're working sets or
How many do you?
are they warm up sets.
Do you do like, because I know people who do two working. I literally just do one. I'll get to it and I'll be like, okay, I'm ready now. I'll be like, I'm ready,
Yeah,
and I'll do that
yeah,
set. That's hard. It can be a heavy 6 to 8, it
yeah,
can be a cluster, it could be a drop set. But people do
yeah,
two. I know. Do you do two or three?
yeah. So once I'm warm, it will be 1 to 2. Yeah.
Yeah, one or two.
So it won't be all out like 3 sets. Like say for example,
No,
I'm doing a squat and I might do like the bar aside for 10. And again, I'm one of these people where I won't do like 4 rep warm up sets. I will do the maximum amount of reps. So
yes.
like let's say on an exercise, my rep range is 8 to 10 with a squat. Every set will be 10, regardless of whether it's a warm up set or not.
Yeah.
So like let's say it's a squat, I'll do like bar for 10, 20 aside for 10, 40 aside for 10, 60 aside for 10, and then we'll go. And then that fourth set will be. But obviously, something on a squat, you will need more warm up sets.
Yeah,
But
I'd
let's
say.
say the next
Yeah, no,
let's
go
say
on.
the next exercise is a hamstring curl. You'll only need kind of 1 to 2 sets then, working
You're
sets,
warm,
because
innit?
your lower body is completely warmed up by that point.
Yeah.
So then you'll go. The problem is then if you then go to a hack squat, third exercise, I will do a little bit more of a warm up again. Same with leg press, because there's so much weight involved that I may do 1 or 2 warm up sets again before going to the maximal. But if it's just like a leg extension or a leg curl, I don't feel as though that level of warm up is needed for those working sets. You can just go straight into it. When
Yeah.
you're doing like, fuck knows how many plates aside on a leg press or a hack squat or a squat, I do believe you should be working up to that just to prevent injury. The goal is not doing too many sets that you're wasting energy, but not doing too little sets warm-ups wise that you're going to get an injury. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes sense because I do that as well. But for me, so my rep range is like 20. So I'll go 20, I'll lower it, but I'll keep it above 10 for my warm-ups. And then when I'm good to go and I'm ready, I'll go for it. And then when I go into the next exercise,
so you'll work out your working sets of 20 reps.
I can go up to that. So like I did this,
Yeah.
100, I did a 140 set for 20 reps. And for me, so I think if I can keep, I put it this way, right? So there's people who do 140 for like a warm up and they'll piss on it and they can just walk in and go do it. But at the end of the day, I think of it as 140 kg is not a jokey weight. It's not a weight you can just, throw.
It depends who the individual is, really, isn't it?
Yeah, but no, but in general,
some people's joints can deal with that all day long, but no one's can.
Like me, I know guys who just walk in and do that, which is cool. It's fine by me, but again, it's just for me, it's keeping your muscles under tension, under a good amount of weight. And 140 for me, if I can rep that, great. Then I think from that I do build strength as well, which I have. And I'm in no rush to get strong, so I could do that.
Yeah.
Slowly bump up to 160. I'll start doing the same with 160. I'll probably start on about 12 reps and then keep doing it and get 20. And then cool. The goal is to do a 4-plate squat for 20 because I've seen a lot of guys who can do that. And if they can do it consistently, then guys usually have really good legs.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If you can do high reps and high weight, of course, you're gonna have a decent body part doing that. The science that I look at still pretty much supports that kind of optimal hypertrophy range is like 8 to 12 reps. But as long as you're going to failure, you can grow up to 30 reps.
Yeah, because there's guys who you know what? I was thinking about this. So Kuba's a good example. He does a good low volume set. Like he fails. He knows how to fail. but not everyone can do it. But it's a good way of doing it.
Absolutely.
So that's hypertrophy as well. So you need to go to hell and back. But I do from myself, I prefer the higher rep, like start failing on the 20, and I think it works. But I do add those.
Yeah.
I add those in 100%. I did it today actually. I wasn't too keen on it, but we were on a Smith machine in some guy's garage. He went up to 3.5 plates, which I knew I wasn't comfortable with, especially being off cycle.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, go on, I'll try it. Did a 6, something like 6 to 8, and then in terms of my muscle connection, I thought, you know what, it was good. There were good reps, but let's do a drop. So instantly,
I think the bottom line is, if you train hard and your nutrition supports it, you will stimulate muscle growth. Like people get too focused on rep ranges and whatnot, but the bottom line is, if you're training really hard, you're going to stimulate muscle growth. But training hard from one person to another is a different thing. Like that's why it is a good idea to go and train with someone, different people who you may think may train harder than you, and just see. And obviously having a decent training partner can really push you, or a decent trainer to push you to that point where absolute failure.
Yeah, because I do believe I train on my own usually. If I go to like a little private gym at the moment, which is quiet, but I do believe I push myself quite hard. But then you can meet someone who takes you to hell and back, environment. But I personally like training alone, man. I like to go at my own pace. That's just me.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
Yeah, it depends. Like I am missing a training partner at the moment. Like the gym that I'm at, he only allows me to train on my own. Like I can't take anyone there. Yeah. So I am kind of missing training with someone at the moment. But it is what it is at the moment.
Yeah. I think we covered everything though. Minute.
Yeah, man.
All right, cool. All right, so what we'll do then is, I think next time we're going to ask some questions. I'm actually going to ask some questions to see what they want to talk about, but we'll see how this one goes. But I think that's the introduction done quite well. Covered most things that we wanted to. Anything you want to add before you go?
I think you cut out for quite a bit there, mate.
Oh shit! Hold on, I think it's my connection.
You cut out for quite a bit there, mate. I don't know if that'll be recorded.
Probably will, but that's fine. We'll leave it in there. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. I don't know if it. I'm sure it would have recorded because it's
on your end. I just can see. But anyway, look, is there anything you want to add before we go?
No, not at all.
Cool. I think we covered
pretty good. Covered a lot of stuff. I think if I was a 16-year-old watching it, I'd have learned a lot today, to be honest.
I don't even know how long that was, but look, let's just see how it goes. So I'll see. Hopefully, you guys watch it and make it to the end.
Give Ozzy's channel a like and subscribe and give it a comment as well.
Vice versa, but I'll put some timestamps on it as well, just to see what we're discussing, so people can jump to what they want to hear. So we'll do that. Cool.
That's good.
Chicken and chips, mate. I need my dirty.
Come on.
Cool. All right. Nice one.
Enjoy.
Yeah. Cheers, man.
See you later, man.
Yeah, bro.
See you in a bit.
Bye.